Lady here, the one T-shirt.
I'm a member of the One Campaign. My name is Andrea, and my question to you, well, as you know, there's about 77 million children in Africa that don't have the opportunity for education, and they either have two choices: they can either not go to school at all or attend something like an Islamic madrasa. And my question is, if you become president, will your administration do something to increase the opportunity for these children to go to school and essentially fix that problem?
And let me step back, and the answer is yes, but let me step back and just talk for a minute about this threat of global jihad. We have responded as appropriate with military response. But ultimately, to win against the jihad, we're going to have to move the hearts of Muslims and strengthen moderate Muslims so they can reject the extreme. And so in a place like Nigeria, where in the capital there are good public schools, however, in the surrounding communities, my understanding is there are not, and there are madrasas, and they're being, in some cases, they're being taught doctrines of hate towards us and towards other people. We have to make sure, as a civilized world, we need to come together along with the leaders of moderate Islamic states to say, how can we help strengthen moderate Muslims so they're able to reject the extreme that's growing within them? And because ultimately, only Muslims will be able to reject the violent jihadists. And so I do believe that includes helping make sure that there are good public schools that are not just Wahhabi schools. Make sure that there's the rule of law. Make sure that we have agricultural and economic policies that are competitive, so that parts of the world that now cannot compete in the global marketplace are able to. And whether this is Nigeria or Tanzania or Kenya or Egypt, we need to be involved as part of the civilized world in helping bring the rest of the world towards modernity with schools and healthcare and education. Those kinds of things will allow the Muslim world to be strengthened and to reject the extreme that threatens the entire world. So it's not only in the interest of humanity, which is a sufficient cause, it's also in the interest of the peace and prosperity of the entire world and our own peace. We become involved. We're going to have to work with some of our other resources, our non-military resources. Let me describe that just really briefly. That is, in Lebanon, you had a country that elected in a democratic process, a multi-ethnic leadership. And while we were strengthening our military might, Hezbollah was providing health clinics and schools among the Lebanese. And in my view, we should have been helping there. And perhaps it wasn't us, maybe it should have been France or someone else that had very close ties with Lebanon. But that the civilized world should be organizing our effort to support moderate peoples in their efforts to move into modernity. And we should have been helping with health clinics and with schools and with education and with agricultural, economic policies and so forth to strengthen the government and the forces of modernity so that they can reject Hezbollah. And I'd like to do that in places like the Sudan, although right now that's not an option open to us given the violent nature of what's going on there. But we will participate and protect human life everywhere. And I'm proud to be pro-life and agree with you that our concern has to be, well, as Americans, our first responsibility is to care for the lives of our citizens. But as humans, our responsibility is to care about the potential loss of life.
Answer your question. Just wanted to know what you thought of the One Campaign.
Yes, I had the chance to meet Obama I believe very much in doing God's work. I'd like to see more nations come together and say, you know what, let's come together and help the nations who are out of poverty. Let's help the nations that are struggling with violent jihad, help them get stronger so they can reject it. This is in an advent of nuclear weaponry and terror. This is no longer just a, hey, we'll not worry about what's going on in the rest of the world. We have to all worry about what's going on in the rest of the world. From a humanity standpoint, but also from the standpoint of our own safety. So,
it was a pleasure meeting you.
Good to meet you. Thanks a lot.